Supposed to say that. Good morning. Good morning. Hi. Awesome. Hi, Katie. Hi, Rebecca. Hi, Naomi. Hi, Andreas. Hi, Jessica iPhone. Hi, Alicia. So good. Hello, hello. Can you pop this on too? So good. Okay, guys. So good morning. Today and in this morning, if you don't have your cameras on Zoom, I'm going to ask you to pop them on. And then if you're watching us on social media right now, we just are doing these morning 15 minutes, 13 minutes left now to be able to just talk about different challenges that are coming up, different monetization moments that are coming up. It's just money touches everything that you love. And a lot of times people are wanting strategy around that. And that's what we specialize in, on how to grow and grow fast. So if you've got, hey, Eugene, you got a great strategy in VIP the other day. Hopefully you're taking that on. And so I want to make myself available to answer questions and rock it out. So if you've got a question, go ahead and raise your hand. And know this, over these 21 days, are things going to trigger you? Yes or no? Are things going to trigger you over the 21 days? Yes or no? Are people going to offend you over the next 21 days or 14 days or 20 days? Yes or no? Yes or no? Yeah. So how you deal with them says a lot about who you are, right? How you deal with them will give you a great insight on, do you forgive fast? Do you let go? Do you hold grudges? Do you hold resentment? If you're an analyzer, do you build your list of all the things that they do wrong and replay the shit that people do wrong inside your head, which is probably the reason why you're either single or having troubles in relationships, right? So listen to the style flexing that we were talking about the other day. Every single quadrant of controllers, supporters, analyzers, supporters, controllers, analyzers, promoters, they all have brilliance to them. And there's a lot of learning from realizing that each of the different quadrants have a different brilliance to them, and not to make yours right. So I've been reading inside the group, inside the Facebook group. I was in there for a long time last night, and I know some of our team has been in there because I've been seeing in our personal Slack files channels just feedback on how vulnerable and how committed you guys have been. Have you guys been reading in the Facebook groups, watching the videos? I've been noticing all the videos have comments on them. So people aren't just going in there and sharing, they're actually in there and they are supporting each other, which is super powerful. I've seen people posting like their love lives, their relationships, like my trigger is my husband, my trigger is my wife. I mean, that is one of the most challenging relationships to often get on the same page. You get what I'm saying? Like, they know everything about you. When you can get your personal relationship on the same page, then I'm telling you the ripple effect of how you work with multiple other people is a huge benefit from there. You get that? In other words, really easy for me to go transform the world, really easy for you to go transform and love other people, but how are you loving the people closest to you? Right? And so I saw some really incredible boldness on that. And then I also saw people who were jumping in saying, no, don't post that. Like, don't post that your trigger is your husband, right? What is that? Shame, protection, guilt. We have a client of ours that reached out to me and is launching a book, and her sister is saying, how could you share that our family has like a poverty line on it, right? Like battles with poverty. And she's somebody who was making $20,000 a year when she came. Now she does $300,000 to $400,000 a month. She has, I think, 5 people on her team that works on her team, and she's crushing it. She's launching this book. And she called me because she's like, how do you still do it when people in your life get mad or offended? And like, you just have to have the same empathy for other people. We do life messy, period. There is just no way around it but to forgive fast. Got it? Okay, guys, so jump up. Jesse, iPhone Jesse. iPhone Jesse. All right, let me know what's up. What's your
Wait,
question?
to me?
Oh, hold on. Okay, go for it again.
Are you talking to me?
Yeah, I'm talking to you.
Oh, Jessa.
Jessa. Jessa.
Okay, so question. I want to build an app, and I know that you have reiterated over and over and over. By the way, can I just say thank you? I just really am so grateful for all of you guys. I'm a
Yes.
total promoter. But okay, so I want to build an app, and I know you continue to talk about the importance of an email list and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So the next 21 days, that's what I was going to be focusing on.
Yeah.
I have no idea what I'm doing. I've never built an app. I'm like, yeah.
So did you join HCL yesterday by a chance?
I'm joining today when I talk to the coach.
Okay, so how about this, you guys? Everybody who joined yesterday and joins today, I will throw in my List Power Intensive program, which when are we doing it? July 12th, 13th, and 14th, where I'll teach you how to build a text message list and an email list. Who's good with that? Say yes in the chat. Who's good with that? You know what?
Oh, yes.
If you don't have it, it's going to be a problem. Now, let me share something with you. I'm going to have Dan Fleischman on today, and he's got a high risk palette, right? And so he might have some different advice than I have on this. It's whatever you can see and whatever your leadership is underneath something to drive it. You got to know your chemistry and your leadership. You know, like I know what I need as a leader to be able to be great on my team. You see what I'm saying? You need to know what you need as a leader in your capabilities to be great on your team. So what worries me about launching an app first, even off the email and text message list, is what is on the back end of that. If they buy the app, because you need a lot of volume.
Totally.
Right? A lot of volume to be able to not be stressed out financially. Now, if you told me you're going to go refinance your house and you're going to build out a funnel to sell that app and you're good, like a video sales letter, to give you an idea, we ran a video sales letter and we were $150,000 negative in a month. And it would take about 8 to 10 months to recoup that cash flow with a big back end, meaning that a bigger product that those people can buy. So now I have friends. I have a friend, Isabel. She has 2 video sales letters running. One is doing $40 million a year and one is doing 20 something. She only has one assistant and one kind of an operations manager that understands marketing that runs her whole company. Okay. And she literally refinanced her house and she went negative $200,000 a month for 3 months. But see her leadership.
Yeah.
I could never have done that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's not right or wrong. It doesn't mean Isabel's better than me or I'm better than her. It doesn't mean that at all, you know, at all. It's just where's your bandwidth and leadership? Everybody write this down. Leadership and bandwidth go hand in hand. Okay, so your bandwidth is connected to your leadership. And when we stop making ourselves wrong and other people wrong for when they hit the ceiling of overwhelmed, when they hit the ceiling of like where they get offended or emotional trigger, when they hit the ceiling of going to food instead of figuring it out, you know what I mean? Like whenever we stop being committed, you know, whenever we can't lead it and we stop being committed, that's when we hit our ceiling of leadership, which means if you keep expanding it, it will grow. So I'm a little concerned about you launching, even though I'll teach you how to build the text message list and the email list. The average person in our community is anywhere between 1,700 and 2,000 people is how many buyers you'll build, usually on the first list build that we teach.
Can you explain that? What does that mean? 17?
Yeah, it just means that we'll show you how to build an email and text message list.
Okay.
Again? What's the date again? July 12th to the 14th. I'll teach you how to build a buyer's list and text and email. If you join HCL today, right? Join HCL now.
I will.
Right? So you're already doing that. So here, this is going to put you in a situation. I can't promise you this, but the average person is between 1,700 and 2,000 new buyers on your email list.
Okay.
Text message list.
Okay.
Right. And so if we sell a product that is a low price point, we have a cash flow problem.
Totally.
You see what I'm saying? So I kind of like the idea of you selling a high ticket offer and then getting some cash flow and then maybe either getting investors or a line of credit or something to be able to go volume on this once you know how to sell it.
Okay, can I ask a question?
Yep.
So the app, it's going to be about narcissistic emotional abuse because it's what I'm currently going through and what I have been going through, and it's like rocked my world. Yeah. So I remember you saying that about the high ticket thing. So I was like, okay, how do I do this? Because I knew that. So I thought,
what's your question specifically?
Maybe I go and just speak, and then I do like a VIP day, and I get a couple.
So when you build this list, you can actually do what I'm doing right now. And in HCL, the first 3 days, or like vision or breakthrough, those are both intensives on their own. The truth is I could sell one of them without the other. Like you know what I mean? Like if I just sold vision, I could sell just vision as people finding their purpose, their clarity, and their power.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so you can sell an intensive, you can sell a VIP day, you could sell any of that and make some great cash. I mean, you guys do the math for me and go in the chat and tell me if you believe this is possible. If she built a list of, let's just say 700 people, do you think that there's, I don't know, 10 people out of that 700 that would be interested in working with her? 10 out of 700? Yes or no? Go in the chat. Yes or no? Is that an unreasonable number? 100%. I've seen people build a list of 350 people. Somebody just messaged me with somebody else in our community who had bombed on her list build. She had 350 people and I think she told me she did 350,000.
Oh my God. Okay.
So that's leadership though, right? She's done the leadership program with Sarah, right? So then if you sold something for $1,000, you now made 10K in your bank account. Got it?
Okay. So do you recommend changing the 21 day to something different that I focus on?
I recommend that you get into HCL and be here, and then I'll go over all the strategies. Otherwise, people that don't want to know about those strategies will lose interest here. Cool?
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, guys, so who needs a coach? Put coach in the chat. Put coach in the chat. Who needs a coach? Put coach in the chat. Who needs a coach? Okay, so okay, good. Everybody needs a coach. Okay, we're going to drop a coaching link before I jump on with Dan, and I'll take one more hot seat. If we can pop a coaching link down for you guys. I know that they're pretty booked, but I think there was something like 30 or 40 spots. There was something like that I remember you saying that are available. So go ahead. They're going to drop the coaching link. I saw Suzanne drop it. You guys on YouTube, on Facebook, good morning. Look for the coaching link. It probably has fireballs around it or something like that. Look for that, click it, and go ahead and confirm your spot right now. Okay, go ahead and click it and confirm your spot right now. Got it? Okay, good. Now, let me go. Sabrina, real quick, Sabrina, give me your question because I'm about to launch Dan on.
Question. I'm an entrepreneur in network marketing.
Yep.
And I took a step back because I had bad leadership, but I want to relaunch because you have.
Okay, what's your question? Because I got 1 minute and 15 seconds.
How do I start this to get myself going for sales in makeup, magnetic lashes, all that?
Yeah, so again, everything starts with the customer. If you don't have the list or the text message list, if you don't have the audience, you have no business. Right. And so like everybody likes to pull back on the audience, and connection is currency. The more you connect with an audience, the higher the conversions will be. Right. And you should write that down, put it on the wall, because like people lose track of that and you'll lose track of it all the time. So never edit yourself on communication. So over communicate like crazy, and it's your list, your text message list, all of that type of communication. Okay.
Perfect.
Yeah, so
I will over communicate.
Yeah, that's where you want to start. If you focus on the audience, then you're going to focus on, like, even if you're bad at marketing, you've been speaking since you were a little kid. So even if you're bad at marketing, if you own your text message list and your email list, you put yourself in a position where you can make money no matter where you live or where you're at. Okay, if you don't focus on that and you focus more on the product first, the list even tells you, the audience tells you how to tweak the product. They also tell you how to sell the product. Okay?
Okay. Thank you.
Awesome. You're welcome. Okay, is Dan on? Okay, so let me introduce Dan. You guys, my friend Dan Fleischman is about to come on. I'm going to be taking lots of notes at the same time. So if you see the top of my head, it's not because I'm ignoring you, it's because I'm writing. Okay, so we're always going to look at the chats. And so here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to give out $100 bills for people who actually have aha moments. So I don't want to see, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. I want to see, boom, mic drop. What Dan just said on this, I'm going to go take action on it. So we're looking for people who are thinking. So what Dan does really well is think. He is a big money guy. He is a great example for when you want to create something and you don't have the resources to create it. He is the resources. Do you get what I'm saying? Like he problem solves that. So everybody wants a great business or a great marriage or a great this. It's like, well, what's actually broken? Because I'm going to tell you, people fix the wrong things. And when you fix the right thing, then everything starts to come together. Do you get what I'm saying? You cannot outsource leadership. You cannot outsource leadership. People get paid because of their leadership. They also get paid because of their humility. Dan Fleischman is humble. He is powerful. I study with him in a group called 100M Group, and he is absolutely brilliant. So I'm excited to bring him on. Can we bring Dan up? Dan. I'm going to shift. Hey, how are you?
Happy to be here.
So good. Dan, could you just share a little bit about yourself before we jump in? And I'm going to ask you some really hard questions for these amazing people.
All right. Super fast bio is I was the youngest person to ever take a company public when I was 23 years old. My products at the time were in 55,000 retail stores. I did that for 10 years of my life. And I started an online poker site, became the third biggest poker site in the world. And then I started a social media agency. It is now the #1 social media agency on the planet. We spend around $60 million with influencers, paying for brands, products, and mobile apps. Angel investor in 37 companies, and just happy to be here.
So good. So Dan, I'm going to jump into a hard question because I know that as you've built all these different companies, there's the place before the idea on how am I going to fund this, right? So, or you get the vision. And it's like, how am I going to fund this? Because I'm sure you're not taking all this cash out of your pocket, and you probably weren't born with cash in your pocket. So you had to figure out how to be resourceful, right? Yeah. So I'm looking at these people and they have these big visions. They got these great ideas, but they're stopped constantly in their leadership on how. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yep. So the first thing is I call it setting up shop. Setting up shop puts you in a position for someone to want to either invest into you, loan you money, or buy from you. Those are really the main three ways for you to have access to capital in the beginning. And so setting up shop is I'm going to build my basic website. When I say website, I don't mean like 8 pages. I mean one, just a basic overlooking website. I'm going to register every social media platform, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, YouTube, Snapchat, all the main platforms. I'm going to set up because free. But it looks good if I show Shanda, hey, look, I'm starting this new company. I'm going to be doing car washes here locally in Alabama. Well, if I have my Alabama car wash, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, I'll look a little bit better, right? If I have my website done, she'll think I'm actually serious about it. It's not just an idea in my head. And so setting up shop is getting my corporation, my bank accounts open, because what if Shanda says, I'm going to give you money and I don't have a bank account yet? It's going to be kind of awkward, right? I'm like, oh, wait, just wait 2 more weeks. I'll have my corporation soon. That doesn't sound good. And so setting up shop is just getting all the little things that are free and very cheap out of the way first to act as if you're actually going to do this business.
So good. So what would you say to somebody who needs cash flow right now?
So the first thing is sales. Obviously, trying to sell something, even if it's just a little bit, changes the perception of an investor or bank. And so getting any sales, doesn't have to be hundreds of thousands, getting $2,100 in sales and then $3,200 next month and then $8,000 next month will make people want to invest with you because you just showed a 50% increase and then a 300% increase. All I said was 2,100 to 3,200 to an 8,000 or 9,000. That's it. It just makes you look real. You have a real business with a real merchant account, with a real bank account. Now, once you have a little bit of sales and you set up shop, your only true options are FFF, which is friends, family, and fools. And so those are people that are around you that are willing to gamble on you, right? You want to start your first restaurant. You want to open up a taco shop. You want to start that dry cleaning company or laundromat or any type of business. Oftentimes, you won't have enough capital to get started. So you'll need a friend, family, or fool to help pitch in. These amounts need to be small, okay? Because this is really high risk capital, right? This is your first taco shop or your first gym or your first business, or you're selling earrings and this is your first time doing it. No matter how good you are, it's still high risk capital for someone like me to be able to put up money for you. And so the first check should be $25K, $50K. Don't go raise $500,000 until you've actually sold something. You've actually built something. Initially, trying to get that capital of that 25K, 50K, maybe even 100K range to get started, then it's much easier to raise money later, right? If you've got, let's say you got 25K from me, 25K from you. So the 50K between the two of us into your new company, you go out there and get 41,000 in sales. Well, it's going to be really easy to go out to someone and ask for 100K, 200K, 300K later, because you've got 50K in financing from the two of us. You did 41K in sales, just a much different mindset for you to go out. Instead of trying to raise $500,000 day one, go raise 25K or 50K, build up your business a little bit, and then go look for some more money.
So I want to manage some mindset here. When I built my career, I sent a text message to a guy who wanted to take me out. I showed a real estate house that he wanted to take me out. I was too embarrassed to call him, so I sent a text and said, "Would you be willing to give me $5,000? I'll give you 30% on your money if you give me a year to pay it back." He said the banks wouldn't even give me that. I didn't even know the banks would not give me that. I was more committed, like we talked about commitment yesterday, than even figuring out how to make more profits. I wanted to get in the game. Then I called another guy, Dan, asked him if he'd put the rest on his credit card. Guess how much it was, Dan? $25,000. It's 21,000 from one. It was 20,000 from one, 5,000 from the other, and then I was in the game. Within 60 days, I made that money back plus a profit. It built my confidence, built my power, and I've never stopped since then. If I wouldn't have done that, I'm sure I wouldn't be here today, because that's what launched me. It funded me. You know what I mean? Versus everybody's trying to like grow at the space in which you can earn capital. And that was one of my biggest mistakes. So I know you love investing, and you've gotten underneath a lot of no-name people that have become name people. And, COVID hit. I know that there was an acai bowl company, where all of a sudden problems happen, like, text messages don't go out, or COVID happens and nobody's coming in, like the communication stops. So first and foremost, what companies do you love right now with the next year to 2 years that we're facing? What industry do you really love? And if you were an investor in something, what would you invest in?
So the acai place, the Everbowl, what was great about the situation with COVID is actually we went full steam ahead. While most restaurants were closing down, we had 25 locations at the time. We now have 55 locations because we signed a bunch of leases, and 293 locations have been paid for. And so we're opening a new location every 10 days. I brought in $5 million during that time. We poured the gas in the fire. We went full-fledged scale mode instead of shutting down and going backwards like most restaurants.
Where did you go in your head to do that? Like, how did you gamble like that?
I'm betting on America that we are going to figure it out. We are going to get through these times. And so while everyone else is getting out of their leases, I saw an opportunity to get leases and get really good deals. So we were getting 6 months free, 12 months free, $100,000 in TI improvements. Like, the leases were amazing. And so in the midst of COVID, like when we were shut down, I was driving around, Jeff, my CEO, everybody was out there like looking for leases all up and down the West Coast. And then we started going to Midwest. And because of that momentum of us signing lease and opening stores while everyone else was shutting down, all these investors wanted to come in. Drew Brees, he put in $2 million, the quarterback, he bought 85 locations on top of that. Like the momentum is what people wanted to invest into. And so what I'm looking for and what I see happening now is things that people can save other humans time, energy, or money on. But time being the number one thing. The reason that you're seeing Amazon, Instacart, Uber, all these type of companies, TaskRabbit, companies that do dry cleaning, delivery, etc., crushing it, is because busy humans don't care about what they have to pay to save time.
Yeah.
And we will pay just to save half an hour. That's why people hire maids. That's why it's not really hard to water the lawn, but you still pay the local kid to water the lawn, right? It's not hard to mow the lawn, but you still pay that person $15, $20 to do it. It's not that hard to go do a car wash ourselves. We still pay for someone to come do auto detailing at our houses. And so things that will save us time, that will save a busy person time forever, is a good business to have. But right now, when people are so busy, we have ADD, we're on our phones so much, etc. Now, if you can save us time, any type of business that can save a busy human time, the price is not sensitive. So you might think, oh, I should only charge $30, charge 47. Oh, I should only charge $100, charge 150. Not to say that you're taking advantage of the situation. It's that people are not price sensitive when it comes to saving themselves time.
So good. So I'm hearing leadership again, bullish on the Everbowl, all of that. You're looking for the opportunity and you're going full throttle ahead. The mentality of pulling back is a dangerous mentality, especially when things are challenging. It's actually when there's the biggest opportunity in the market. And people know that mentally, but they still can't get themselves to take action. So if you were looking at your little brother, your cousin, and they were making their way up in entrepreneurship, what would you say was the biggest mistake that they could make right now? And how would you coach them to overcome it?
So the biggest mistake is not studying. Studying whatever it is you're doing. If you want to do NFTs, study everything about NFTs. You want to go open up a gym, go watch what Bedros did with his 400 or 500 gyms. Go read anything you want to learn about. And I mean anything, from starting a pet cemetery to starting a high-end gym and everything in between. The most dynamic things you can learn online, and you can learn for free or cheap. And so studying, people don't realize, will help remove a lot of the losses and a lot of the wasted time, money, and energy of setting up shop or setting up your business. And so I'm obsessed, right? I literally wrote books on how to set up your business because I've watched so many people ask the same basic questions they could have learned if they just read a book from someone that's already done what they want to do. And things like this, what you're doing here, people learning will save them so much time, money, and energy that no matter how smart you are, if someone's done it better than you in advance, I'll give you a quick example. If we're standing at the edge of a forest, right? And Damon John is standing next to you on this side, and I'm standing here, and we're going to start a clothing brand. And at the end of that forest is the $10 million in sales. Who's going to get there first if we walk through that forest? Damon knows where to duck, where to jump, where the manufacturer that screws you over, what type of licensing deal should you do, how to deal with retail stores. He knows every single thing to walk through that forest where we're going to be trying to chop down trees and get bombarded and fall in gaps. Damon John's going to breeze through the forest because he's done it year after year after year for 30 years. And so learn from someone like that. If you like fashion, learn from a guy like Damon John. You want to do X, Y, and Z, learn from someone like Shanda.
So good. I was actually just having this conversation this morning with our COO about like team and how to use team. He's really good at team. And that's why we hired him, because he's extraordinary at that. But it's like knowing who's on the team and playing the plays is more important than just having a bunch of talented people on the team. It's how do they fit on the team, right? Like, how do you actually work with each other on the team? Now, I have a question for you. You have started multiple companies. How do you build team? Like, do you just hire a shitload of people and go, or what do you do?
So actually, most of my companies are run by ninja teams. So
What does that mean?
a ninja team is usually 4 to 7 people. I know it sounds crazy, but for the most part, I look for the quarterback first, meaning I look for that main character first, that I'm going to be the coach and they're going to be the quarterback. That's the main, every business I have, I can name, this person runs my sports card stores. This person runs my social media agency. This person runs the acai bowl chain. This person runs my investment fund. This person runs the masterminds. That's that person. That's my quarterback. They're the main character. Now, I always want one person that's really good right underneath them. So that's got to be like that vice president, chief operating officer, someone that's really good right beneath them. And then everyone else around them, the other 3 to 5 people, are support for them. But I have to trust the quarterback. And by the way, in the Everbowl, the acai bowl situation, if he was selling lamps, I would have invested the same amount of money because I was betting on him, right?
Yeah.
I invested in an amazing woman last year. I don't care what she's selling. It could be bottle caps. I would have invested in her because I know how focused she is, how detail-oriented she is. She wins every award when she presents at events. I'm going to invest in her no matter what. And so the main thing is finding that person that can help you run that business that you want to do, and then getting them a support person right under them, like a really good person. The other people are interchangeable. I don't want to say that in a rude way. That's interchangeable because these are not your high-end executive that's running your operation, that has access to your bank account and has access to decision-making. The support system people that are there, that part you can go find 3, 4, 5. And if you lost 1 or 2 or 3, it's fine. But your quarterback, you got to find that right person for you.
What do you think is happening in artificial intelligence as far as the labor force?
So it's really scary for our economy because if you think about McDonald's, Jack in the Box, those type of places, Walmart, etc., you're talking about 7 to 10% of our entire workforce works at fast food or grocery stores. What happens when something is way more efficient, like an ATM type machine that I can make my order for hamburger, no onions, add pickles? I mean, the error factor versus a human that's making minimum wage that doesn't want to be there versus an ATM machine robot that I can type in, the error percentage is 100% versus who knows, right? A varying percentage of human error. And so sadly, the machine is actually better than the human in that case. But if that happens, you're talking about millions and millions and millions of people that for the most part don't have skills to go get a different job out of work. And so it's scary what's going to happen in the future when it comes to that. Similarly, if they actually figure out how to have semi trucks driving without humans safely, You're talking, again, millions of people. And we can go down the rabbit hole. The same thing applies to Uber. If at some point Uber had autonomous driving at scale, it's way cheaper to get into a Tesla to take me 4 miles with no human inside of it, but that's millions of jobs. And so I'm nervous about that part. That's why I care about people learning so badly, because you're going to need skills. You're going to have to understand trade and have to get yourself prepared for the future. Because in the future, there will be robots running a lot of the key parts.
Well, and it's here. It's here. You know what I mean? Like, people don't realize how quickly the flip phone is like gone. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's here right now. People aren't paying attention. Guys, it's not something to be like, it is scary, but what Dan is talking about, the reason why we push so hard for people to go do leadership training, whether it's ours or somebody else's, I don't really care. You are absolutely running a risky game if you can't resourcefully think. Bandwidth, problem solving, ability to take action, that's all under leadership. So like Dan could give you every strategy on the planet. If you can't quarterback it, he already said it. You're not in the game. Like, you got to be able to quarterback it. Quarterbacking it is leadership, right? Like, the quarterback wins and wins and wins. And when the game goes off, the quarterback still knows how to put the game on place and is willing to be wrong to everybody. I mean, he's willing to stand up and say, love you, don't care about your experience. I know this play and I'm running this play. Are you on my team? And if you're not on the team, they're going to move the team, because they're not going to lose the game. Do you get what I'm saying? So that's what he's talking about in leadership. Dan, you have a funny story with NFTs, right? Wasn't there somebody in your family who was like trying to get you to invest? Share that real quick. It's great, a great humble story.
So my nephew, he was 24 years old. He showed me like a black screen with a green dot on it, like a little less than 2 years ago. And he's like, hey, I'm investing in this thing called Axie Infinity. I'm buying 3 pieces of digital land in the metaverse. It's $12,400. I don't need you to give me the money. I already bought $12,000 worth. Do you want to buy it also? I can get it for you too. I was like, no, it looks kind of really basic. It's just like a black screen with a green dot. It's not, it looks like Tetris from 1980s. He's like, no, this is going to be the future. You should really think about it. I passed. And I'm a gambler. Normally I'd be like, yeah, sure. Here's 12 grand. Let's go for it. I just didn't feel it. Right. And he texted me 2 more times. My nephew, about 4 months ago, sold the most expensive digital land in history for $2.5 million. My little 24-year-old nephew sold that same exact piece of little land for $2.5 million. And he raised a $50 million NFT fund called ARCA. And so my little 24-year-old nephew that I watched as a baby, my brother's kid, just sold a piece of land for $2.5 million and raised $50 million on the open market.
You guys, this is the world of the future. Understanding crypto, understanding NFTs. What would you say to someone? So first of all, Dan, I know that I sent Dan a text message last night. I said, Dan, listen, we can give you all the training in the world, and if you can't take action on it, it's wasted time, right? I spend $100,000 a year with Dan, and I get no private coaching with Dan. I'm just in the space, and I have relationships in the group, right? It's called 100M Group. And it's a curated group of people that come together, and we come together 3 times a year for 2 days in Las Vegas, San Diego, Miami, whatever. And that being said, it's who's in the room and the thinking that's in the room that makes it valuable. And there's a rite of passage to get in the room. It's $100,000, but it's more than $100,000. It's, are you someone who can contribute to the room? So I share this with you because not only does Dan raise capital through that room and put people in great investments, but you also have a thinking pattern of people that can rock it, they can lead it, right? I don't need Dan to sit with me for 27 weeks to figure out how to launch a registration page. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, he could say in text message, here's something you've never done before, or voice note, and I'm just going to go do it. And I'm going to do it messy. And then I'm going to get data. And then I'm going to say, hey, here's what happened. What do you think? And he's going to give me an answer in about 2 minutes, and I'm going to solve the problem. Do you hear what I'm saying? So I share this with you because if you joined leadership yesterday, I asked him last night, would he be willing to throw in 100M Dropbox of the day in Miami where we talked about digital marketing, crypto. Go in the chat and let us know if you would want this. Say yes or no, right? Because I'm going to tell you, a lot of the crypto advice out there is very bad. It is very bad. It's going to get you risking, and then your hand's going to get slapped, and then you're going to pull out. And you've got a nice, beautiful 1 to 2 year window in here where there's a lot of wealth transferring. And you don't have to be the smartest person in the room. You have to be in the room with the smartest people, right? So I asked Dan if he would throw that into anybody who jumped into leadership. If you guys could pop up the joinhclnow.com, if you guys could pop that up. Dan, just share a little bit about what we covered in the Miami Mastermind for 100M.
Yep. So that one was with one of the most, if not the most famous person in the cryptocurrency space. He has 1.6 million followers, a huge podcast with hundreds of millions of views on YouTube, etc. And so he broke down why he's investing in Bitcoin, Ethereum, etc., what NFTs really are, how does the government look at cryptocurrency for the future, what can they do about it, and what does the future look like. And it's important to learn, understand it, whether you're going to dabble and put in $50, $100, $500 into Bitcoin, Ethereum, etc., whether you're going to buy your first NFT, etc. Getting into the game and getting your feet wet first is kind of what he talked about and explaining it, so that later, as you get more comfortable, maybe you'll put in $1,000, maybe you'll buy 10 grand or 100 grand. It's all relative to your financial situation, but talks about the safe way to do it, how to onboard yourself into cryptocurrency the safe way with Coinbase and OpenSea for NFTs and MetaMask wallet. What the heck's a MetaMask wallet? What the heck's an OpenSea? And we just kind of walk through all those things. And by the way, I'm going to have Alec help send in some extra files as well. So we'll get some extra video clips from some of the behind the scenes of the mastermind. Again, people paid $100,000 to be there. We're going to get you some extra clips for free there. So outside of what I promised last night, we'll get you some more as well.
I love you, Dan. You're so awesome. So you guys, it's really important to be in these type of rooms. And I always say to even our team and my friends, most of my friends are in these type of groups. It's an unfair advantage to be able to sit and have these conversations at the level that you're at. And so, you know, one of the things I can tell you is if you can get into these mindsets and listen to the way, even the advice is awesome, but listen to the leadership in the ways that people take action. Because if you're studying and not taking action, then we've got a leadership problem and we've got to fix that like ASAP. Dan, what do you think about the future of dollar bills?
So it's interesting because our government are very slow. And so although it's obvious that the dollar bill is not useless, but it's deteriorating quickly. It's a hard concept to keep going into the future as we're getting into such a digital age. Most people don't even carry cash anymore anyways. For the most part, people just have credit cards. And in Asia, you just carry your phone, right? Nobody even carries credit cards. You just have your phone, and that your phone is your everything. Your WhatsApp in some places is your everything. It does your payments, your back-end access, your driver's license, everything is there. Your credit. And so as we get into that digital age, it will change. However, the government is very slow, and we're still running off of policies from 84 years ago and laws from 92 years ago that don't make sense, that obviously are not relative to today. And so it's very unlikely it happens anytime soon. I think, I'm not even thinking 5-10 years because of how slow we are making decisions, and we're just antiquated. And so the dollar will still be around. We are having it go down in value because of obviously through the recession that could be pending and what some of the decisions are happening. It is a bit scary from that perspective. And that's also why you want to learn and earn and get your own house in order and make money and have skills, is because whatever happens with the government, whatever happens with the outside world, whatever happens with the media, you need to be financially prepared at your own home, because that's the only option. Otherwise, you're just going to sit on the floor and cry about it and try to blame the people that don't care. But you can blame the government all you want, but if they don't care, you got to get your house in order. You got to make money. You have to learn skills. Things like this are amazing. That's why I'm so happy that you do this and have tens of thousands of people want to be part of it, because the people here are the butterfly effect. If Christina learns from you and all of a sudden she goes and hires 7 people, and then Stephanie P learns from you and she goes and hires 21 people, that's the butterfly effect. The people that you teach go out there and build businesses and create jobs. That's the best thing that can happen. That's actually why I invest in companies so much, is I want them to go out there and create jobs, because that's the only way to fix this.
What's the, and we'll wrap this up. What is the best thing you ever learned about understanding money? Because it's not taught in school, right?
Yeah. So the biggest thing is our overhead. The reason that you hear 85% of athletes go bankrupt within 5 years, they had $5 million, $10 million, $20 million, $100 million and go bankrupt because they just didn't have any financial literacy. And most of it happened from their overhead. People don't realize, they're like, oh, I make $5 grand a month. but I only spend 2,400 a month. No, you don't. You make $5,000 a month gross, and you have to pay taxes. You don't spend 2,400 a month. That's just your mortgage, insurance, car payment, etc. You're not counting the $200 a month you spent at Starbucks. You're not counting the $100 a month. Now, I'm not saying to stop spending at Starbucks. I'm saying being realistic, the fact that you do spend that. And so a lot of people don't realize they spend $100 here, $300 here. Oh, my kid's soccer thing is only $200. No, you got to buy their equipment. You got to buy their gear. You got to sponsor the event twice a year. There's a lot of things about on the financial side. If you really sit down with a piece of paper with your husband, wife, family, etc., and actually write down, what did we spend this month? Not just your main bills, but look at all your credit cards, everybody's credit cards in the family. You'll realize, oh, there was $120 a month in hair. There was $80 for that makeup session that we went for that event. Oh, we traveled this month, but we travel about 4 times a year. Like just actually writing those things down, you'll realize you don't spend $2,400 a month. You spend $3,200 a month, and it'll make you start realizing things differently. And it's not, again, not to stop going to Starbucks. I'm not Dave Ramsey. I'm not saying go stop doing those things. You enjoy those things. But I will say, if you find out you're spending extra $800 a month here and there, let's figure out ways for you to go make another $800 a month so that you're not concerned about the fact you're trying to take back from the things that you like in your life.
And I think that's where the problem lies, is that even when, like I'll just speak personally, I think money is so easy to make, and I'm a big fan on keeping overhead low. Yep. It doesn't mean that I don't enjoy my life. I definitely do. But even let me ask you a question. When a company is top heavy with overhead, well, yours aren't, because you won't do it. I mean, don't you get advice from people who have been in these huge billion-dollar companies that tell you to do it differently?
Yes. So the reason that all these companies raise so much money is they have such huge overhead. None of my companies have big overhead. That's why I'm able to run lean and mean, and I do ninja teams. My agency, I only have 18 employees for my agency, and we did 110,000 paid posts this year. I paid 3,500 influencers. No other agency on the planet does those numbers. I'm the only agency for Oracle. I'm the only agency for BET. I'm the only agency for some of the biggest companies. I have 18 people compared to other agencies that are very famous that have 1,000 employees. Doesn't matter how much money you make. If you have 1,000 employees, you're spending $1 gazillion a month. That's the exact number. It's 1 gazillion. So I don't have that. In every one of my companies, my sports card business, I did 18 million in sales in my first year of my sports card business. I have a bunch of kids working for me and 1 quarterback. That's it. So 1 person gets a salary and everybody else is on hourly. That's it. And I did 18 million my first year. In the middle of COVID, by the way. So going out there and keeping it lean and mean, I want to have my main quarterback, 1% of them, and then 3 to 6 people that can really help that business. Anything on top of that is considered fat to me.
Yeah, I think when COVID hit, my famous words were cut the fat, cut the fat, cut the fat, cut the fat. Dan, I think, first of all, I think there's a new entrepreneur coming on the market. And I think that's the entrepreneur that never meant to be an entrepreneur. And I literally have it up to write a book on this, because the new entrepreneur needs to know, how do you build a list? How do you build an audience? How do you build a text message list? Like you're like, build the audience first. If you got to have the audience, without the audience, you have no control over the media, which is another word for audience. You're excuse my language, you're fucked. Yep. You're focusing like so much on just the product without understanding the audience. The audience tells you how to sell, what to sell, how to tweak it. It gives you the data. It's not just an idea can be made great by listening to people who say, this is what I want from that. And so I think if you are employed right now in a job, we're on YouTube right now, we're on Facebook right now, we're in a Facebook group right now, we're here on Zoom with some VIPs. But I'll tell you, even at Zoom on VIPs, we have almost 700 people who paid to be on VIP, and we have 272 live. Now I know that there's different time zones, but I also know that there's people on here right now it's 3 o'clock in the morning where you're at right now, and you are here. Yep. And you're the one that's going to win. Yep. Right? There's people that are in their jobs right now that you're in the janitor closet and you're listening to this right now. You're the one that's going to win, right? The people that are trying to grow out of comfort zone, and people say, oh, I know the comfort zone thing. No, you don't. No, you don't. I was up all night because I was thinking about some things that broke. Even on this campaign, I was thinking about, how do I help more people? How do I figure out, like, why are my text messages getting throttled? Like that type of thing. Fuck, I don't even give a shit why they're getting throttled. I'm just solving the problem fast, because money loves speed. And a lot of people want to meet, greet, and hang out and talk about the product. They want to do therapy around something, and we can't do therapy. We got to move, right? And I think if you're a new entrepreneur, you got to come to more masterminds. So something I added to the leadership training. So join hclnow.com. You got to do it. It's not even a negotiation. You got to do it if you're not hitting your results, because you can learn every freaking formula on the planet and you're dead in the water because you'll get the same results. Because unless you're sitting in Dan's house or my house where we can control your leadership, which we don't want to do, right? Unless you're sitting in our house, you're not close enough to be able to push your mind across the finish line. So you got to get your leadership in check, and then you got to study. You got to study. You got to study. You got to study. You got to understand crypto. You got to understand NFT. Oh, I don't understand that shit. I get it. Let it be brain damage for a minute, and just get in there with $20. The minute you get in with $100, $20, $500, you start to pay attention. Am I making sense? Go in the chat and say yes. Right? Am I making sense? So you can't just sit there and say I don't understand. That's screwed up leadership. That's like, you're going to be in the middle of the living room floor, and it'll be your own damn fault as the world moves over and moves to the next generation, and you're stuck. I'm getting messages from people who have been driving a truck for 40 years and I don't know what to do. I'm paying for gas. I can't, I'm tired. My health is going down the hill. Okay. You know that in 45 days, in 30 to 45 days, I can get you an email list to text message list in 45 days. One that no paid advertisement, no any of that, complete, as Dan would say, like influencer marketing, complete referral based. If I asked Dan to email his list to something like this, and I made an offer, more people from his list would buy than from paid advertisement. Why? Because it's influenced, right? That's exactly where his game is in media. And it's smart because you know who you follow. And you like, trust, and believe in them. So on joinhclnow.com, we'll teach you vision, which is a 3-day workshop, which is like cracking the egg to vision. You can't freaking lead it unless you can see it. You got to drop all your belief systems around what you're capable of. Okay, drop everything in the past and get into the future, but you got to get a vision that you're ready to get hungry behind. In Breakthrough, which will be a couple weeks later, we'll drop that egg, we'll drop those walls so you have the power to go after it. Then we're the only training program that puts you in a 3-month plan that says you test the program, because there's nothing worse than reading a good book and you still don't take action, right? You've done the programs in the past that it got you fired up, but you didn't actually create a result. That's a problem. 95% of our students who do HCL actually create the results. So do you want to grow a business? Do you want to create profits? Do you want to move to Africa? I don't know what you want to do, but I know that you should live it and you should do it. So in the practice level for 90 days, you're going to put up a huge goal and we're going to go after it. So that's HCL. Dan has thrown in the 100M mastermind, the actual digital trainings on those, where we actually went to a mastermind in Miami. They taught digital currency, not from just an average YouTuber that you went and listened to, and you probably still didn't take action, probably saved your ass, because if you did, you probably lose your ass. And some of you guys are already losing your ass because you're watching free YouTube videos and you're not paying the $100,000 to get into the room. Dan just gave you entry into that room. We're going to give you the trainings. It'll take our companies a minute to organize that, but we're going to give you the trainings for today only. Okay, today only. If you do the pay in full option, which is $19.97, which is 60% off, Dan, for 4 months, we're going to train them for 4 months for $19.97.
Awesome.
It's insane, right? For 4 months, we're going to train you for $19.97. You're going to have vision for 3 days, breakthrough for 4 days, and 90 days of be part of the 95% that succeed, right? So he's going to give his trainings. I threw in the list power and text message training. I'm going to train it on July 12th, 13th, and 14th, right? 12th, 13th, and 14th. I'm going to train it from Puerto Rico. Dan, I'm moving my ass to Puerto Rico. I'm going for the 4% tax, because flat tax, you know, so that I can play a bigger game over the next 2 years. I'm putting my money where my mouth is. And so you guys, that's what's available to you today. So I wouldn't think about this. I'd run towards that link, joinhclnow.com. And Dan, what are your final last words for everyone?
Just get started.
Yeah.
That's it. Every time I sign my books, I only say those 3 words every single time. Just get started.
So good. So good. You guys light up the chats and say thank you, Dan Fleischman. We will send out a link also to his Instagram on the recap email later on today so that you can find him and follow some of his stuff. He's absolutely amazing. Dan, thank you. I really appreciate you. I'll send you later.
Bye, guys.
Hi, everybody. All right, VIP, I'm going to shift to you. So here's my homework, though, for everybody tonight. My homework is if you're sitting on the fence and you want HCL to start to process quicker and make the decision. If you do the 1997 and I don't have to be your finance girl, then I will add in all Dan's trainings and I'll add in all my list building training. Why? I want you to be resourceful enough to get across the finish line. That's what I'm looking for. I want you to get resourceful enough so that when I train you, I know that you're going to be the quarterback that's going to drive it forward. Part of knowing that you're going to be the quarterback is taking whatever's going on in your life, just like me. Somebody messaged me and said, Shanda, how would you create cash flow right now? I said, you're kind of talking to a woman that would do whatever it takes. I mean, I text messaged Noel in Las Vegas and asked him to give me money at 30% interest, right? I called Dan and asked him, not this Dan, but my other friend Dan, to put $20,000 on his credit card. And I said, listen, you do the training and I'll just watch you from behind. And I just want to absorb the information and you take all the coaching, right? So I didn't care about getting the best support or anything. I just wanted to get in the room. And I knew if I could get in the room and get the education that I could get to where I wanted to be. In 60 days, I paid that $21,000 back. The $5,000, it was $21,000 investment, but I borrowed $20,000 and $5,000. I made that money back in 2 months, in 60 days. And I just want to share this with you. I think if the trainer in front of me wouldn't have been so strong and so clear that I could do this, I'm not sure I would have believed in myself. And so I'm not in a room right now in a hotel where you can walk up to me and say, can I do this? Here's what I can say. I've trained 12-year-olds how to build businesses. I have trained people on cancer beds, how to build businesses. As long as you have a computer and a phone, or nowadays just a phone, as long as you have a phone, you can do what I'm going to teach you inside of the List Power training. So you've got leadership so that you can become a quarterback, right? You got leadership so that you can become a quarterback and you can be somebody that people can bet on. Some of you guys are going to become a quarterback and someone like Dan's going to bet on you, right? Some of you guys are going to become a quarterback and you're going to end up going into an organization that you're irreplaceable in, right? Some of you guys are going to become a quarterback and you're just going to make the capital for you and your family. But my point is we need you to get the leadership underneath you. So for today only, we've got all of these bonuses added to it. Got what I'm saying, my friends? All right, VIP, I'm going to switch to you. Here's the homework. The homework is to make a decision. Make a decision on if you want this, go for it. If you don't want this, then just let it go. Trust yourself. I mean, if this is not the right move for you, don't do it. I'm not trying to convince you in anything, but if it is, and you've got that thing going on inside you, then you got to do whatever it takes today to close the gap. Because if you go through the weekend, guess what's going to happen? You're going to wake up in the middle of the night and you're going to keep thinking about it. Should I do it? Shouldn't I do it? Should I do it? Shouldn't I do it? Should I do it? It's going to steal your whole weekend. You know I'm right. So do whatever it takes. You can put it on multiple credit cards if you want. I don't care. What I care is that you're resourceful enough to get yourself in the game. All right, my friends, I'll see you soon. And VIP, I'm going to switch to you now.